Paradise Pamper Be Natural line, and today I'm back with you because I am going to do another tutorial, and today's tutorial is going to be how to make oatmeal cookie baths. So before we do that, I want to talk to you about a few things that's going on with Paradise Pamper Be Natural line. I have a few products today that's within the line that I would like to talk to you about, and these are our best sellers currently. This is the oatmeal milk and honey line, and I absolutely love this. We are getting really huge reviews from this line. People actually are going crazy for it. We have the soap in a bar. The soap is extremely creamy and is soft on the skin. It actually is very good for someone that has dry skin. This soap actually has goat's milk in it as well. And goat's milk actually adds nutrients to your skin. It adds some antioxidants. So this soap is extremely good. It helps to treating dry skin, but also eczema, psoriasis. It aids in the treatment of that. The bath is another great thing to add to the addition of the soap, because we do have some of our customers who they just don't want to use a soap. They feel like it's quicker for them to use a scrub or a body cleanser. So that is why we also created the body cleanser to go along with the soap, because you do have some people that kind of want to switch it up sometime. They don't always want to use a soap, so they want to use the cleanser. Now the cleanser does not have the goat's milk. That is one thing that it does not include, but it does include the rest of the properties that the soap would have. So it's just as good as the soap, but it does not have the actual goat's milk in that. The other thing that goes along with this to make up a mini line is the actual lotion. It is extremely creamy. The one thing that you will notice about any of our lotions is that when a lot of lotions that you add to your skin, they do moisturize your skin, but they leave you feeling oily. And that's one of the drawbacks that I kind of have an issue with when I was using the chemical-based lotions, was the fact that I don't like the oiliness on my skin. Like, I want it to be moisturized, but not the oily part of the actual lotion. So when we created the lotions, we wanted to make sure, and we did a lot of experimentation with the lotions to make sure that we did not have an oily residue on your skin. So this lotion really leaves your skin feeling smooth, silky. It gives your skin a small sheen, but I can guarantee you, you will not have any oily residue left on your skin. You will absolutely love these products. The goat's milk soap is one of my favorite soaps. That is our biggest seller right now, is the goat's milk. And like I said, besides the soap, the whole line right now, we are selling out of the line. We can't keep this product in stock right now. So I am going to, each video session, we will be talking about some of our products that we do carry online at Paradise Pamper Be Natural line. Also, we are currently running a special right now where until June the 9th, you can actually get 5 bars of soap for $20. So that is an excellent deal, because the normal retail price of our soaps is $7. So that is an excellent deal to be able to get 5 bars right now for $20. It's wonderful. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to set these products aside, and we're going to go ahead and get right into our tutorial. So I decided that, I love cookies. I love the smell of sugar cookies. I love oatmeal, maple syrup, brown sugar, anything that just smells yummy. And sometimes even in the bath, you love like different smells. That's why a lot of people love bath bombs and little things that you can put in your water to kind of give it a smell, whether it's an essential oil or whatever the case may be. But, I still love yummy scents, whether it's a scent of cakes or cookies or pies. I love the yummy scents. You can get those yummy scents in scented candles and all. Why can't you get it in you don't have to just use a bath bomb, because this is sort of like a bath bomb, but this is more, it makes you feel like a cookie, because to me that's what it is. So we are going to actually go into a tutorial today, and this is the oatmeal cookie bath. So it's similar to a bath bomb, but in the end, it's gonna look just like a cookie. And we're gonna go ahead and start, and I'm gonna introduce you to some of the items that you're gonna need for this project today. So one of the first things, which this would be our key ingredient to binding the cookie together, this is organic cocoa butter, and these are chips. I absolutely love these. I get these from Brambleberry, and these are probably one of my favorite items that I purchase from them because they break everything down. I used to actually buy cocoa butter in a round container, and it was just a headache to constantly try to get out because cocoa butter, once it's a solid, it is almost impossible to break it apart unless you actually melt or liquefy the whole entire container. So this works beautifully for me. So this is the key component to this cookie, which is you can use any type of butters because a lot of them will bind together really solid. So you can use mango butter or shea butter, but my choice today is going to be cocoa butter. The next thing that we're going to use to go into this mixture today, we're going to use cinnamon. So I am using McCormick because they usually have a good, most of their items that they actually have, whether it's herbs or whatever the case may be, they're pretty natural. So they're a little more on the expensive side, but I just like McCormick myself. And then we are going to use pure vanilla, and this is another one of theirs. This is McCormick, and you can see mine is almost gone, but it's enough to do what I need to do today. But we're gonna use pure vanilla as well for this session. We're also gonna use raw honey. So you are not gonna go into the store and you're not gonna purchase just the plain everyday honey. This is raw. That means that this came straight from the beehive. There's no preservatives, there's nothing, no additives to this. This is pure raw honey. We're gonna also use a fragrance oil today. I'm gonna use Oatmeal Stout, and I also purchased this from Brambleberry. I'm in love with this fragrance. This just happened to be one of the fragrances that I have that makes me think of cookies and just food in general. So I absolutely love this Oatmeal Stout, and this is what I'm going to use to fragrance my cookie today. And then we are going to use pure baking soda. So as you can see, I'm using Arm & Hammer baking soda for my recipe. You can use whatever brand you like, but just make sure it's pure. I'm also going to add, in my recipe, I'm going to add some Epsom salt. So this here is Dr. Teal's pure Epsom salt, and I love these. Another key component to this is going to be your oatmeal. So you don't want instant oats, you want the actual old-fashioned oats. And this is one of my favorite brands of all time. I think I've been using these or eating these for ever and a day. So this was my go-to whenever I need oats for a project. This is my go-to. And I just wanted to give you guys some alternatives. I'm not going to use citric acid in mine today because this is just a tutorial, and these are probably, we're just going to use these at home per se. But if you wanted to kind of give your cookie a kick and you wanted to have a fizz, then you would add citric acid. And this is an all-natural grade that I'm using, citric acid. I love this brand. I ordered this off of Amazon, and this is a 10-pound bag. So I'm sorry, this is a 5-pound. I thought it was 10 pound. I got a 10-pound too. Let me turn it around. But this is actually a great brand to use, and it comes in a resealable bag, so you can reseal it back up. But this is an option. We're not going to use it today, but this is an option. If you want to give them a fizz, this would be a great option to use. As you can see here, I also have this is my cocoa butter that was in the cubes. I actually put them in a double boiler previously, and in order for me to actually melt these down, I didn't feel the need for me to go through that part with you guys because it's pretty cut and dry, simple. You just make a double boiler if you don't have one on the stove, and you go ahead and melt these down. Once again, in all of my tutorials, I do let you know that it is not a good idea to microwave any type of oils because you take away their key components. So if you want to get the full components that they actually, you know, have in them, you definitely want to use a double boiler and melt everything down on the stove. You're going to also need some measuring cups, measuring spoons. You may possibly need a scooper for this. I'll say maybe, maybe not. It's just up to you. I felt like I did better. When I do these, I do them better with just taking the dough out, flipping it on something, and then just cutting them out that way. You're also gonna need some cookie cutters. So I have two here, a shaped one, and then I just have a round one. But today I'm just gonna use this round one, but I'm gonna actually use the actually curvy or frivoled end of it because it makes a pretty cookie. And then, of course, you're gonna need a pipette. So you're gonna need the pipette to pipe out your fragrance oil, or you can use essential oil, whatever you choose to use, but you're gonna need a little pipette for that. I also have some scissors, because this is the end process of our cookies. I have some ribbon. I have the little thin kind of paper ribbon, and I also have a cloth ribbon that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use that on the bags, and these are like little treat bags that you would get. These are Wilton's, but you can buy these out of Walmart, these little bags. But I also, what I did was I used a printer. So I used my printer and I just printed off, just put Oatmeal Cookie Bath on here just to stick on the bag. So if you wanted to make these for a gift, or you want to put them in a gift basket, or give them to family and friends, this is just a good little thing, and you can do whatever you want to. You can design your actual label any way you want to, but I just stuck with a basic design, so just wanted to put the wording on there. And you're gonna also need a bowl. We're gonna need a spatula. You may also need a rolling pin. So these are just optional, not stating that you will need all this, but this is optional for use. And you can use a pan if you like, but you can use wax paper and put it over into a pan if you don't have a silicone mat. But I actually am using a silicone mat for mine. It's just easier for me to put them on there, and I don't have to worry about them sticking or whatever the case may be. So if you don't have a silicone mat, you can easily take just a flat baking sheet, put a little wax paper on that, and then you can use that for what we're doing. Now, another key component to all of this is going to be this little guy. This is Bullet. I bought this, it's like a Bullet food processor, but this thing was really inexpensive. I got this at Walmart. It's been a while ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but I have to tell you, for 20 bucks, this has been the most awesome piece of equipment that I own. I mean, it grinds everything. I mean, from nuts to oatmeal to herbs. I mean, and it's just incredible for 20 bucks. This little thing is like the best, like I said, little machine that I own. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started with the things that we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna lay my mat out here just to prepare and get ready, and have my bowl here. And I have my little food processor, and this is where all of this is gonna start, is with this little guy. So we're gonna need 1 cup of oats for this project. So I'm just gonna take and I'm gonna scoop out 1 cup of oatmeal, and kind of make sure that you don't overdo this. You wanna make sure you keep it at 1 cup. And then I'm gonna just pour that over in there. Now you can wear gloves if you want to. Some people just don't like textures under their fingernails or on their nails, so it's gonna be up to you, whatever you want to do. I would suggest you probably wear gloves. It doesn't bother me, but since I'm using these for home, I'm not gonna put on any gloves, but if I was using these for sale, I would definitely want to wear gloves. The next thing that I'm gonna add to this, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of baking soda. Excuse me, this is going to come off here. It's trying to travel on me. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm just going to pour in And I'm gonna do this lightly here because I don't want to run the risk of all this baking soda coming out on me. So just doing this lightly. So we're gonna put here a half a cup of the baking soda into this. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna put some cinnamon. So we wanna have in here, we want to pop in a half teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I just wanna make sure that I'm measuring everything properly. You don't wanna over measure. You wanna make sure that you actually are measuring everything properly here. And you're gonna put that cinnamon right in there. And then I'm going to actually add to this mixture 1 tablespoon of the vanilla extract. And I'm actually going to add the Epsom salt because these are really good if you're putting them in your bath and you may have soreness or muscle tightness. The Epsom salt is extremely good for that. So I am going to add 1 tablespoon of the Epsom salt to this mixture. And as you notice, I'm going all the way around. I'm not just dumping it in one place. I just want to get an even distribution of the ingredients. So I don't want to just dump them all in one place. I want to make sure that all of these ingredients that I am adding to this, I get an even mixture. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our raw honey. And like I stated before, you want to make sure you have raw honey. Raw honey, there's a big difference between raw and the honey that you buy out of the store. A huge difference because the raw that you buy out of the store, it has additives and preservatives and things of that nature added, where this is raw, it comes straight from the beehive. So we're going to add a half of tablespoon of the raw honey here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in here. Sometimes with this raw honey, you know, I always think, wow, you know what, this is like really sticky. You could just about stick or adhere just about anything to that. That honey is extremely thick. So the last part of this is going to be our fragrance, which, as I stated today, I am going to be using Oatmeal Stout, and this fragrance is by Brambleberry, and this is one of my favorites. So with this, if you are going to be using the small beaker that I have, you are actually going to squeeze it entirely and just fill it almost directly up. But if you cannot do that and you still don't know how much you're putting in there, you are going to use probably somewhere around 35 to 40 drops of the oatmeal stout or any type of fragrance. So I just kind of do this to my liking and my smell. But fragrance, any type of fragrance or essential oil, it's really strong. So you don't need a whole lot. You have to really be careful when you're adding that kind of stuff in. So with this remember, this is my cocoa butter that was in the cubes that I actually melted down on a double boiler. So I'm going to start out with 4 tablespoons of this. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to blend up. You want this mixture to be pretty wet. Okay. Because if it's dry, it's not going to bind together. Trust me, I know. I've done several tutorials and I've experimented with this before doing tutorials, so you definitely want this to blend together well. You can also, if you wanted to put this mixture in your blender, you could do that as well. I don't, because I have fragrance in this and I don't want this to be in a blender that I'm going to use for food. So it's going to be up to you. I also have, this is just my blender that I use for this kind of stuff. And I also have a hand mixer that I only use for this type of stuff. I don't use my hand mixer with my actual food for my family or anything that we have to do for what we consume. So this stuff is just for these projects or for soaping or things of that nature. It's just for my craft. It's the same thing as with all of my utensils. That stuff, actually I set it aside and I only use it for that purpose. Now what I'm going to do is I want to feel this to see how wet this is, and I actually think I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to add one more of the cocoa butter, because you want this to be pretty wet. It has to be wet enough to almost not soupy wet, but it definitely has to be wet enough to bind together. And that's the key to all of this. You want this to be wet enough to bind together. All right, so with that, I'm going to take it out of, yep, this is perfect now because I can feel it. And I'm actually going to, and I'm going to let you guys kind of see how it looks, and it looks wet. So the thing about it too, you have to remember we have cocoa butter in here, and when you use the cocoa butter, it binds up really good and it's tight. So that's why I said sometimes you may have to work it in with your fingers. It's gonna be up to you as to what you wanna do, but this is a great project. This is a project also that you could do with teenagers that are around like 10, 11, 12, 13-ish. You know, this is a really good project to do with them because there's not anything really here that can harm them. You would just want to supervise them with the blender because it does have a blade. But this is a pretty wet, as you can see. You want your mixture to clump up. Almost like if you're doing a bath bomb, that mixture has to be wet enough to bind, and that's what you want for this. So I have my mat here. Now you could do these however you choose to do these. I normally, what I do is I put them in my hand and I just make a cookie out of them because I want that cookie shape. So you can do whatever you want to do with these, but you just remember when you do these, you want these to be sort of thick. So you don't want a thin cookie because this is going to go in the bath. So a bathtub is really huge. So you want these, unless you're going to use maybe 2 or 3 cookies, then you would get what you need out of it. But you want the cookie to be pretty thick when you put these together. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So this usually makes about 3 to 4 cookies for me. I like to do this because I like the crazy shapes of the cookie, and I usually just take my fingers and just do different things with them because I don't want them all to be shaped the same. And another thing I will tell you guys, if you want to get even fancier with this, you can add glitter to these. That's a good component that if somebody's having a birthday, or also if you wanted to do a sugar cookie tutorial, which is one that we're going to do, a gender reveal cookie. These are for the bath. That would be good. I mean, these are just little ideas that you guys could actually use and just experiment with. I mean, you know, you don't have to go by what I'm doing. You could take my recipe and just elaborate off of that. So we have 3 of these, which I said it was going to make about 3 or 4. So what I'm going to do, you don't have to sit these in the freezer, guys. You can actually take these and leave these sitting out overnight, and they will actually, you know, harden up or stiffen up for you. But what I do to actually speed up the process, I actually set mine in the freezer. And excuse me for one moment, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go and get some that I already have in the freezer. So I'm back, guys, and these are some completed ones, and I put them in the freezer so that they could have a chance to go ahead and stiffen up for me so that I could show you guys the finished product. These are really, really cute, and like I said, you can add color to these. You can do whatever you like to these little cookies. They are the greatest thing ever for the bath. You can put them in there and you can add any ingredient that you would like to add to these. So I'm going to show you what the finished product would look like. So I'm going to take one of my bags here. And what I normally do, and that's why I have scissors here as well, I cut my bag off a little bit because it's a little too long. So I just take a little bit off the bag. And sometimes I like to get a little crazy, and I'll cut a little design in the bag because it's just cuter doing this. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. And then we're gonna just place these little cookies, and these are hard, as you can see, and they will stay this way. And you're gonna place your little cookies in your bag here. And then I'm actually gonna use a little cloth ribbon here. I think it looks a little more personable. So I'm just gonna cut it slanted, is how I cut it, and I'm gonna go on the other end, kind of do the same thing so both ends will have the same shape to them. And I'm gonna take it, tie my little ribbon here. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing really good. Pull that through. I want to get rid of this mat for 1 minute so I can get a clear picture. Okay. So I'm going to take it, and you're just going to tie a bow, however you like. It's up to you. And if you want more of your bag showing, you don't have to cut off as much as I cut off of the bag. Let's see. Okay. And there you have it. And then I'm just going to take off just a little more of this here, so this ribbon won't be as long as the other one. And then you're going to take your little sticker, which, like I said, it says Oatmeal Cookie Bath, and you're going to place your little sticker right on your bag there. And this is just the cutest little thing ever. I actually love these. These are great for Christmas. These are good for birthdays. If you want to actually, you know, do something like this, baby shower would be good for these. These are excellent. And if you're having a bath spa, a lot of people now, the spa things are really in, where people are doing the spa. This is an excellent, excellent item for you to actually make if you're going to actually do a little spa party. So this has been another great tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Feel free to leave your questions for me, your comments at the bottom of this tutorial. We're going to link the recipe to the bottom of this tutorial. I just want to say that something that I always say is thank you very much for taking the time to watch this tutorial. And once again, if you don't do anything else, love yourself. And please, 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 if you haven't introduced yourself yet, or if you already take the time to love yourself and to take in these natural products, if you don't, or if you do, just make sure you love yourself. And guess what? Introduce your body, or give your body some natural body love. Thank you.